Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we're diving into the thrilling twists awaiting us from September 8th to 26th, 2025. Get ready for an explosive 3 weeks in Port Charles, where suspicions run high and secrets threaten to unravel everything. A case suspect finds themselves under intense scrutiny in a mysterious crime that's gripping the town, while Alexis Davis slips up in a big way by revealing more than she should. On top of that, Britt Westburn faces a moment of sheer alarm that could change alliances forever. And hold onto your seats, a jaw-dropping return shakes up the entire community, bringing old faces back into the mix with fresh drama. Let's break it all down, exploring the chaos, the rescues, and the revelations that are set to keep fans on the edge of their seats. In this beloved ABC soap opera, starting with Britt Westburn's alarming encounter, the tension kicks off when she comes face to face with an unexpected visitor, amid a whirlwind of violence and disorder that's already turned Port Charles upside down. Jason Morgan, the ever-reliable right-hand man with a history of stepping into danger, makes his sudden appearance, but not before the scene is charged with mayhem. He quickly reassures Britt that his intentions are purely protective, as they're to lend a hand, not to cause harm. Imagine the pulse-pounding moment as Jason leaps into action, heroically intervening in a crisis that could have dire consequences. This raises intriguing questions. Might Britt tip him off about the perilous situation involving Vaughn and young Jocelyn Jacks? If she does, Jocelyn could be in for a tough spot, forced to spill the beans on her recent escapades, which might lead Jason to harbor yet another confidential bombshell from his close ally Carly Spencer. Adding to the intrigue, perhaps Britt recalls a past favor Jason owed her from their complicated history, making this alliance feel like destiny. As the week progresses, Jack Brennan receives a tempting offer that could alter his path, but by Friday, his frustration boils over into a full-blown outburst as he storms through demanding clarity and truth from those around him. This rampage might involve smashing through doors or confronting old rivals, heightening the stakes and leaving viewers wondering if Brennan's deal is a trap or a genuine lifeline. Shifting over to Alexis Davis and her regrettable slip of the tongue, the stakes are sky-high in this secretive plotline. Alexis, alongside her daughter Christina Corinthos Davis and the cunning Ava Jerome, has been holding a drugged Rick Lansing captive in a dimly lit basement, a desperate measure born from escalating family feuds. But Alexis's mistake comes when she overshares critical details, potentially to the wrong person at the worst possible time. Depending on who overhears or gets drawn in, this could drag an innocent bystander into their web of deception, complicating the hostage situation even further. Picture a tense family gathering where words slip out unintentionally, forcing Christina to improvise a cover story on the spot. There's also the lingering concern surrounding Scout Quartermain, whose innocent involvement might tie into broader custody battles or hidden agendas that Alexis has been juggling. Maybe Scout stumbles upon a clue, like a misplaced note or an overheard whisper, adding a layer of urgency to keep the secret buried. This blunder could ripple out, affecting legal proceedings or straining relationships that were already on thin ice, reminding everyone in Port Charles how one loose word can ignite a firestorm of consequences. Now, let's turn to Anna Devane's determined investigation, where she sharpens her focus on her primary suspects in a case that's baffling the authorities. Right from the start of the week of September 8th, Anna teams up with the steadfast Dante Falconeri to interrogate someone who might hold the key to unraveling the mystery. Their questioning could involve clever tactics, like presenting fabricated evidence to provoke a confession, or revisiting crime scenes with fresh eyes. Later on, Willow Tate seeks counsel from Harrison Chase, perhaps in a quiet corner of the hospital where secrets are whispered amid beeping monitors. Willow's brief vanishing act from her duties raises eyebrows. Was her supposed reunion with loved ones just a clever diversion to mask something more sinister? Inventing a new twist. Maybe Willow's absence ties into a hidden medical condition she's been concealing, adding personal stakes to the larger probe. Meanwhile, Lucas Jones puts Carly on the spot with pointed questions, but she has a solid alibi, having been entangled with Brennan during the pivotal shooting incident. This grilling might happen over a tense coffee at Kelly's Diner, where old grudges resurface. In a bid for support, Michael Corinthos reaches out to Curtis Ashford, enlisting his expertise in navigating the murky waters of family loyalty and corporate intrigue. Perhaps Curtis draws on his pie skills to dig up dirt that Michael desperately needs. Back with Lucas, he receives a stern caution from Elizabeth Liz Baldwin, Who might warn him about poking into dangerous territories that could endanger his own safety or career? Portia Robinson cleverly flips the script in a confrontation, turning accusations back on her accusers with sharp wit and undeniable evidence. Trina Robinson opens up to her friend Emma Scorpio Drake about her deepest fears, sharing confidences that strengthen their bond amid the turmoil. Imagine them strolling through the park, dissecting the latest scandals with youthful insight. Plus, the town is rocked by a shocking return, perhaps a long-lost character emerging from the shadows with a suitcase full of unresolved grudges and surprising alliances, sending shockwaves through every household. On a brighter note, Cody Bell manages to impress Molly Lansing Davis in a big way, scoring major points that could blossom into something more meaningful, whether it's through a heroic act, like saving her from a minor mishap at the stables, or offering sage advice during a moment of doubt. Cody's charm shines through, hinting at potential romance or a solid friendship in the works. Finally, Dante and Lulu Spencer deliver some groundbreaking news that could reshape their family dynamics, perhaps announcing a reconciliation or a major life change that's been building for months. This revelation might come during a heartfelt family dinner, where emotions run high and tears mix with laughter, providing a counterpoint to the darker elements swirling around Port Charles. Next, we will learn about the issue that has every Port Charles resident whispering in the hallways, the jaw-dropping possibility that Nathan West may be alive and that Britt Westburn's resurrection is only the first domino in an elaborate master plan no one saw coming. Buckle up for a deep dive into the month-long mystery that will reshape loyalties, revive old grudges, and place Anna Devane in more peril than ever before. Nathan West, a pulse in the shadows. Rumors of Nathan's survival begin with a single irregular reading on a defunct morgue monitor, an electrical blip dismissed at the time as faulty wiring. Now, forensic technicians have traced that anomaly to the exact moment Nathan's body disappeared from cold storage. Anna Devane pores over grainy security footage, noting a tall figure in a black trench coat entering the restricted wing just hours before the blip. Could this have been Caesar Faison himself? Or a proxy armed with Faison's unrivaled medical schematics? Even more chilling is the discovery of a trader's access card left wedged inside the morgue door, a silent dare for Anna to follow the breadcrumbs. Britt Westburn, more than a miracle. Britt doesn't simply reappear, storms back into town with a surgical scar over her heart and an uncharacteristic calm that unnerves her friends. She claims to have spent months recovering in a private European clinic, yet her file lists no hospital in the world that used the cutting-edge nanotech visible in her latest cardiology scans. Elizabeth Weber, reviewing the charts, is the first to notice the telltale Faison signature stitch pattern, a microscopic weave only his clandestine research division ever mastered. If Britt was Faison's patient, was she also his co-conspirator in whatever shell game brought Nathan back? Anna's relentless hunch. Haunted by Faison's long shadow, Anna refuses to believe in coincidence. She revisits every archived dossier, uncovering an unfinished Faison blueprint labeled Project Chimera, Twin Omens. The file is partial, but it hints at experimental twin augmentation, a blend of memory extraction, DNA replication, and psychological reprogramming designed to create a perfect double that even close family would accept. If Nathan did survive, Anna wonders which Nathan returned, the gentle detective who loved Maxie Jones, or a chemically sculpted imposter waiting for the signal to strike. Maxie's coma connection. Adding urgency to the investigation is Maxie Jones' unexplained coma. Doctors can't identify a physiological cause. Her brain waves oscillate wildly between normal and REM-like spikes, as if she's trapped in a nightmare tailored to her memories. Some speculate her unconscious mind may have recognized an imposter Nathan moments before shutting down in psychic self-defense. Others whisper that Faison wired a remote trigger into Nathan's altered DNA, a literal heartbreak bomb, meant to incapacitate anyone emotionally tied to him. Maxie's bedside vigil becomes the emotional core of the storyline, with Brooklyn and Felicia organizing round-the-clock piano sessions, hoping familiar melodies will coax her back. Kevin Collins and the brain in the jar. The last verifiable fact about Faison was Kevin Collins removing his brain and storing it in a jar, a macabre trophy now missing from Collins' office. Security logs reveal that on the night Britt returned, the jar's temperature sensor tripped an alert just long enough to thaw cryogenic fluid before the entire container vanished. Did someone transplant Faison's consciousness into a host body? Or has modern neurosurgery advanced further than Port Charles ever imagined? Dr. Hamilton Finn begins conducting stealthy lab tests on residual fluid in the display cabinet, finding fragments of neurotransmitters still firing, suggesting Faison's brain never truly died. Peter August, A Mask of Lies. No GH saga is complete without Peter August lurking in the margins. Sources indicate he has acquired state-of-the-art prosthetic masks from elusive tech broker Claudette Dubois. These dermal masks can mimic blood flow and muscular tension, creating a disguise nearly indistinguishable from human skin. If Peter intends to masquerade as Nathan, the emotional turmoil could destabilize Maxie's fragile condition further, and sow distrust among the Corinthos-Spencer alliance. Anna suspects Peter, aware of his half-siblingship with Britt and Nathan, may be planning a power grab that hinges on impersonation of both siblings, a dreaded familial trifecta, capable of dismantling every safeguard Anna ever erected. Curtis Ashford's digital dragnet. Anna enlists Curtis to comb the dark web for chatter about underground cloning labs. Curtis intercepts encrypted messages from an IP block used by a defunct WSB black site in Zurich. The messages reference Phase Gamma Guardian Reborn, shorthand that could signify the next step in Project Chimera. Curtis decodes transactional ledgers pointing to a purchase of synthetic amniotic chambers, the same model rumored to accelerate tissue regeneration. Cross-checking delivery manifests. He identifies a Port Charles shipping warehouse recently leased under the alias Dr. J. Faust. When Curtis and Dante Falconeri raid the facility, they find empty biopods still warm, electric clamps torn loose in haste. Further proof. The resurrection experiments have moved into the final, mobile phase. Britt's crisis of conscience. At the Metro Court rooftop, Britt confides in Franco, the only man she believes might understand moral gray zones, that she experiences phantom memories, dreams of places she swears she's never been, fragments of conversations in German she doesn't speak, and a recurring sensation of drowning in cold biogel. Franco hypothesizes she may possess implanted memory engrams, a technological leap documented in stolen WSB files. If Britt's very recollections can't be trusted, Anna must consider whether Britt is a willing actor or an unwitting Trojan horse, carrying hidden directives that activate under stress. The hunt for Faison's shadow. Anna's investigation reaches critical mass when she discovers two partial fingerprints. On the morgue access card, one belongs to Britt. The other is a near match to Nithambit with differentiated ridge patterns that suggest a sibling or clone. She confronts Britt at GH, presenting the evidence. Britt breaks down, confessing she's been receiving anonymous texts signed father instructing her to meet at a derelict lighthouse on Spoon Island's western cliff. Realizing the trap could spring any moment, Anna assembles a strike team. Dante for tactical oversight, Curtis for electronic countermeasures, and Finn with emergency medical gear in case the confrontation turns violent. Showdown at Spoon Island. Under hurricane-dark skies, the team infiltrates the lighthouse. Inside they find a makeshift operating theater, surgical lights powered by car batteries, and twin hospital beds, occupied by an unconscious Nathan, the other by a mirror image duplicate hooked to 4 drips of neon green serum. Flickering video monitors play surveillance feeds of Maxie's coma room, confirming the entire plot is wired to her vital signs. Suddenly, Peter August emerges wearing a Nathan mask so lifelike it momentarily fools even Anna. He boasts that the serum pumping through the duplicate's veins contains dormant nanobots calibrated to detonate inside Nathan's heart the instant Maxie regains consciousness. A twisted insurance policy guaranteeing Peter's leverage over everyone who loves her. Anna's deadly decision. With time dwindling, Anna must choose. Disconnect the duplicate and risk triggering the nanobots, or attempt a risky override hack on Peter's handheld detonator. In a breathtaking split-second judgment, she fires a taser that arcs across the room, short-circuits the detonator, and sends Peter crashing against medical equipment. Unfortunately, the shock also jolts the duplicate's monitors into seizure mode. Finn scrambles to stabilize vitals, revealing that the clone's heartbeat is linked wirelessly to the nanobots via telemetry. They have mere minutes to deprogram the swarm before it reaches critical mass inside the real Nathan. Curtis' digital gambit. Curtis reroutes the telemetry signal through his tablet, spoofing the nanobots into believing the clone is still stable. He manually inputs a shutdown code sourced from the WSB Archivessa sequence and a once memorized. During her double agent days, the lights dim, alarms cease, and both Nathan and his duplicate flatline temporarily. Finn administers reversible stasis compound, buying precious minutes to assess which of the two men is the authentic Nathan. DNA swabs taken on the spot are rushed to the hospital lab, leaving everyone in tense silence under the lighthouse's rotating beam. Epiphany in the storm. Hours later, lab results reveal a mind-bending truth. Both bodies share identical DNA, but telomere analysis indicates one is biologically 37, while the other is barely a year-old synthetic growth accelerated in a vat. The elder Nathan awakens groggy yet coherent, calling out Maxie's name, proving his memories remain intact. The clone remains comatose, its neural pathways underdeveloped beyond basic reflexes. Anna orders the clone transferred to WSB custody and swears to personally oversee ethical safeguards to prevent further exploitation. Maxie stirring. Back at GH, as dawn breaks, Maxie's EEG normalizes for the first time in weeks. She stirs, murmuring Nathan's name precisely when the real Nathan's heart echo returns to baseline rhythm. Whether psychic bond or simple fate, the universe grants Port Charles a fragile reprieve. Peter August is taken to Pentonville, still wearing remnants of the prosthetic mask, muttering about a contingency father embedded deep in WSB Blacknet servers, a final hint that Faison's influence extends beyond the grave. Anna's lingering unease. Though victorious for now, Anna cannot shake the feeling she has only pried open the first layer of a deeper conspiracy. A final scene shows Kevin Collins reviewing surveillance of the lighthouse raid, zooming in on an indistinct figure slipping away with a cryocanister's missing brain jar. Kevin's eyes widen in horror, realizing someone else has inherited the ghost of Faison, and the game is far from over. Next, we will learn about the issue electrifying Port Charles, Britt Westburn's dramatic return, Jason Morgan's cross-continental rescue, and the complicated love story that refuses to stay buried. Britt's re-emergence begins thousands of miles away on Croatia's jagged Adriatic coast. At the secluded Five Poppies resort, weary tourists sip espresso while secretly armed guards patrol the terraces. It's here that Jason, led by nothing more than a persistent hunch and a blurry glimpse in an airport corridor, locates a shaken Britt arguing with her own reflection in a rain-streaked window. She recognizes him instantly, yet grief, anger, and relief crash together so violently that she tells him to leave before her heartbeat settles. The clash establishes a new emotional chessboard, Jason's steadiness versus Britt's volatility. Minutes later, the resort erupts into chaos when Jason hears muffled cries behind a locked banquet hall door. Inside he discovers Vaughn of Sonny's low-level careers and Jocelyn Jacks bound to antique radiators, victims of a botched ransom plot orchestrated by a nameless syndicate. Britt, caught between flight and fight, freezes at first, haunted by memories she refuses to share. Only after Jason forces the lock and frees the captives does she spring into action, applying improvised pressure bandages and barking orders in fluent Croatian. She didn't speak a year ago. Viewers quickly sense that whatever happened off-screen sharpened her medical skills and deepened her secrets. Jason's protective instincts surge the moment Britt's voice cracks while describing the kidnapping. He hands her a burner phone, a standard Morgan protocol, but the gesture carries deeper significance. It's a lifeline and a confession of enduring affection in one silent motion. Hours later, as he waits at the Dubrovnik departure gate, Jason watches that phone as though it contains every answer he has ever sought. When it finally vibrates with Britt's panicked, static-laced call, he abandons his ticket home without hesitation. Their bond, once forged in clandestine hospital corridors, reignites under Croatian storm clouds. The escape to Port Charles is anything but smooth. Jason bribes a cargo pilot, smuggles Vaughn and Jocelyn onto a medical transport, and keeps Britt hidden beneath an oxygen tent to avoid customs scrutiny. During the 13-hour flight, Britt oscillates between deflection and confession. She admits she spent 56 sleepless nights perfecting a life-saving antiviral compound in the Five Poppies basement lab, yet refuses to reveal the benefactor who financed her work. Jason listens quietly, noting every tremor in her voice, cataloging every name she almost says but doesn't. Their relationship evolves from nostalgia to fragile partnership faster than the jet gains altitude. Touching down at Port Charles International, they're met by an astonished Liesel Obrecht, who nearly collapses when she sees her daughter alive. Liesel's tears are raw with guilt. She once believed her own scientific hubris doomed Britt forever. In stark contrast, Lulu Spencer strides into the hangar, arms crossed, accusing Britt of orchestrating her own disappearance to dodge malpractice suits. The resulting shouting match is vintage soap dynamite to formidable women trading barbs, while Jason quietly positions himself between them, a literal shield for Britt's wavering composure. Inside General Hospital, Chaos continues. Britt's return triggers mandatory peer review hearings, medical board depositions, and a media frenzy outside their bay doors. Elizabeth Weber, remembering the times Britt manipulated lab results, greets her with cool professionalism, yet secretly volunteers for night shifts to monitor her vitals. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer corners Jason in the parking garage, demanding to know why he risked Jocelyn's life on a rogue rescue mission. Jason's tight-lipped answer, because Britt mattered, is the closest he's come to declaring love since Sam left town. As Britt settles into a guarded suite at Metro Court, the nightmares begin. She wakes screaming about cold tiles, dripping for tubes, and voices reciting dosage schedules in German. Trauma specialist Kevin Collins diagnoses acute captivity-induced PTSD. He prescribes exposure therapy and insists she document every fragmented memory in a locked journal. These nightly flashbacks provide fertile ground for future revelations: who drugged her, who funded her research, and why she still bears a faint circular mark on her sternum, the hallmark of an experimental central port implant. The slow-burn romance fans crave reignites during an after-hours rooftop picnic. Jason arranges above the Quartermain stables. No candles. Jason hates open flames, but a single lantern illuminates sandwiches and mismatched thermoses. Britt, wrapped in his leather jacket, admits she once mocked quiet men, yet now finds his silence soothing. Jason at last confesses he stalked every Balkan pharmacy database searching for her alias. The scene is tender, but not saccharine. Britt flinches when thunder echoes, and Jason's hand hovers protectively near his concealed siderma, reminder that danger still circles. Complications multiply the next morning when Damian Spinelli hacks the 5 Poppy security feed and uncovers lab footage. Britt synthesizing vials of emerald green serum under duress, while a hooded figure points a silenced pistol at her. The discovery reframes Britt from escaped criminal to coerced asset. Anna Devane seizes the tapes as evidence, pledging to dismantle the syndicate that leveraged Britt's brilliance. Dante Falconeri opens a formal inquiry, and soon Britt's hospital privileges hang in limbo, tied to a web of international espionage charges. Meanwhile, pharmaceutical conglomerate Acheron Biotech dispatches lawyers claiming patent rights to Britt's antiviral formula. They threaten an injunction that would bar General Hospital from dispensing the medication to immune-compromised patients. Britt counters by encrypting the only complete protocol on a thumb drive, releasing partial doses to GH under compassionate use provisions. The move paints her as both hero and liability. Actually, the moral gray zone soaps thrive on. Family drama intensifies when Liesel discovers Britt's lab journals describe a secondary antidote, capable of reversing neural toxins, an antidote that could exonerate Victor Casadini from rumor-swirled accusations of poisoning Valentine. Liesel, torn between maternal loyalty and lingering Casadini grudges, begs Britt to destroy the files. Britt refuses, arguing that medicine must transcend vendetta. This ideological rift threatens to dismantle their newly repaired relationship, proving that resurrection seldom equates to peace. Jason faces his own gauntlet in the form of Sonny Corinthos, who sees the Von Jocelyn kidnapping as grounds for retaliation against faceless rivals, encroaching on his territory. When Jason advises caution, prioritizing Britt's healing over vendetta, Sonny accuses him of letting personal feelings cloud business judgment. It's the first time in years the enforcer openly defies his boss, setting the stage for a potential schism within the Corinthos family that could recalibrate Port Charles' underworld. At the heart of every conflict lies Britt's unresolved trauma. Kevin's sessions reveal her captors forced her to administer her experimental drug to terminal patients in exchange for her own survival. Guilt gnaws at her. The medication saved some, accelerated decline in others. She now questions every dosage she administers, second-guessing her instincts in the air. Jason becomes her anchor, reminding her she acted under duress and that redemption is earned through present choices, not past coercion. The slow burn intensifies when Britt helps Jason rehabs a derelict boathouse on the haunted Stars dock, turning it into a clandestine clinic for victims who can't afford GH's increasing fees. Hammering planks side by side, they laugh over crooked nails and swap stories about childhood hideouts. In these quiet interludes, viewers witness trust liquefy into genuine affection, far more potent than any impulsive kiss. Yet the looming question remains: will Britt's secrecy erode this foundation before it solidifies?